So let's talk about mortgages. Everyone's excited. Everyone loves talking about mortgages, especially
great.
now that Trump got on old Truth Social. And what do you call it when you send out a message on Truth? Is that sending a truth? Or is there another word for it?
It's
A truth bomb?
I want to say truthiness, but
I sent
no,
a
that's
truthiness?
fuck. What was the late night comedian?
There's a lot of those.
I'm blanking on this.
Oh, you mean
Okay, it's gonna
Stephen
be 10
Colbert.
minutes. I mean, just
You're talking about Stephen Colbert. Yeah.
I remember when he had the Colbert Show, he did the whole truthiness bit.
Oh, I see.
So
Okay, got it.
after spazzing out for 5 minutes about that, there you go, audience. There you go.
And we're
Truthiness.
reviving
Stephen
a
Colbert.
fucking of all the bits that we tried to revive. It's the garbage from Stephen Colbert's like decline into irrelevancy. I feel like everyone's just gonna forget about him as the late night host. What did he take over Letterman's show or something? Or
I don't know.
man.
I don't remember, but
Just made it political
It's been a very
garbage.
regrettable run. Very cringe. He destroyed any sort of like comedy legacy he could have had with the Colbert Show.
No, and he's only going to be known for that vaccine dance now. Like,
I was
that's
just
all-
thinking about that too.
That's
It's
all
the
anyone's going to fucking
vaccine.
remember. The
Ugh,
vaccine.
fucking guy.
Okay, so why are we talking about that? Why are we talking about the
Because
Daily Show?
truthiness. Because Trump was sending out
Truthiness.
truthiness.
Truthiness,
right?
thank you. So he made a truth. He made a truth saying that he's going to fix the financial and the housing crisis. So let me switch over. Randy, show us the thing. Can you get that centered though, buddy? Thank you.
Fucking Randy.
Bro, he's killing me today. So, no, side to side. Yeah, but oh my Jesus. Can you maybe put it behind though so it's not covering my face? So this truth, I guess, went out to say, oh, I'm going to be just like FDR now, where I'm going to fix the 50-year mortgage. So, I'm going to fix the housing crisis by introducing the 50-year mortgage. So where FDR apparently introduced the 30-year mortgage, because prior to that, it had been a 15-year. Back when people could like actually afford a house, you could work at a factory, your wife could stay home and raise your children, 2 of them, and you could somehow afford a house in the suburbs, a car, retirement, and all of this back when, I don't know, in like the 50s. And then people stopped being able to afford their houses, so FDR said, I know what it is. We need more longer loans so the banks can earn more interest, but then the monthly payment will be lower so that more people can get into it. So apparently we used to have 15-year. I don't even remember that. And then we moved into 30-year during the Great Depression. And so now it says it's his turn to fix the housing crisis by introducing a 50-year mortgage.
How the fuck is this a fix though? This is not a fix at all. As you said, you're just slapping on a longer term with a more drawn out interest rate.
So this
fix
is great.
anything.
Well, for the people who own
So when am I
banks and
supposed to
stuff-
pay off my mortgage? When I'm freaking dead? It's
Yeah,
gonna
your
get
child
passed
is.
down to my kids, and then
That's
when they
literally the
can't
idea.
afford it, the bank pulls it after I just paid 45 years of interest into this shit.
Oh, you're getting it. Wow, you got this quick. Yeah. So yes to all of that is the idea, I think. So I don't know in what world children are going to be ready to pick up a mortgage as soon as the parent can stop paying into it.
It's insane to think like what home ownership is now going to be like a fucking multi-generational commitment when it used to be one generation buys the house, pays it off, and well, ideally the next generation gets to benefit from that either by taking ownership of the house or being able to sell it, make profit and buy a new house, whatever the case may be. But now you and your kids need to sit down and say, okay, listen to me. I know you're only 10, but we're about to buy a house. And if I croak from a heart attack or God knows what, you got to be the man of the house, get a job, and pay this fucking interest down.
Yeah.
Fuck
That's
off.
exactly what it is.
Oh, man.
And imagine the interest, like as if interest isn't enough on a 30-year loan, like the interest you pay on a 50-year is going to rival the loan itself. I mean, I'm sure there's math people out there that can do this a lot better, but effectively, well, here, let me go through the article a little bit. So almost instantly, the proposal came under attack from all sides. Mortgage brokers called it impractical, economists called it ineffective, and even some Republicans, including members of Trump's own administration, called it a bad idea. Well, no fucking shit. The backlash was swift and revealing. While millions of Americans are currently priced out of home ownership and desperate for relief, many believe the 50-year mortgage not only doesn't solve the problem, it could actually make things worse. It's crazy how everybody immediately knew this was the case. I don't think there's anyone who was like, 50-year mortgage? Hell yeah, he's finally doing it. God, these ads are insane. Like, they just keep updating. Why the idea is falling flat. Trump's pitch was simple. Longer mortgage mean lower monthly payments, but experts say that that extra time comes at a serious cost and not just in interest. A 50-year mortgage could saddle homebuyers with decades of extra payments, leaving them with less equity and still potentially cost them as much per month as shorter-term loans due to higher interest rates. So it doesn't even reduce the per-month cost. So I saw some finance channel.
This is fucking brutal. So
Yeah.
wait. Who is this even for? Is this for people who just cannot even qualify for other mortgages, so they're just going to hook them up with this 50-year, and the banks to
That's who
ensure
this is
that they're going to
pretending
see
to
their
be for.
money obviously have very, very high interest rates. So some moron who now thinks he's going to be a homeowner gets conned into this shit, as has always been the case.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm
So the person this benefits is the owner of the bank, and that's it. Like, nobody else is going to benefit from this in any way that I can see. This is all just more like 1%er shit, right? Like, make it seem like this is good for the poors, but really 1% just keeps raking it in, which, to be fair, is like in line with a lot of what Trump has actually done compared to what Trump has said he would do, in my opinion. You know, a lot of the moves he makes seems to be just more 1%er shit, which is why, in my opinion, the thing that is really screwing us up here is lobbying. The fact that political lobbying is even allowed or is legal in any way is just like the most corrupt and backwards thing I can think of. The fact that we allow people to be professionally paid just to put money and favors into the hands of politicians to make sure that they like make policies that benefit their companies seems to be the most corrupt thing we could possibly have developed. But I guess that's what, you know, greases all the palms and keeps all the wheels turning, so I suppose that's never changing. But,
I got a perfect example of that. So when Trump took over, you know, he was gonna give, you know, he's gonna throw a little bone to like the pro Second Amendment folks, you know, have supported him, makes sense. He's Republican, right? Traditionally, Republicans or anybody on the right.
Well, he's a
courts, the Second
neo-Republican.
Amendment folks. Yeah, whatever the case may be, right? And he was going to make an act that would take suppressors off of the National Firearms Act, right? So you could just buy it. The biggest lobbying group, to my understanding, that was courting folks in Congress to vote against it was a suppressor company. It was a company that specifically allows, or not allows people, but it gives a service to people to fast track them to get
right.
suppressors that would still be compliant with the NFA. But if they took that away, the companies would essentially go bankrupt because people could just buy it at their local gun shop.
right, and this whole
So yeah, that
grift
was
that
the
they've
biggest
set up of like
lobbying
getting
interest,
people into
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so depressing to think about. But I mean, that's what, right? What is his name? Was that during Watergate where the guy said you follow the money and you'll find the truth? It's always what it leads back to. Somebody's just worried about their bottom line changing, and it's not like the company couldn't survive if that changed, but they would no longer be a constant growth, which means their investors wouldn't be happy, which means that's basically death. Where this like late stage capitalist obsession with our stock market and with our investors just pushes us into these bizarre situations where you would think, oh, we're going to sell more suppressors if we let this go through. But that gets overridden by the fact that no, we're going to lose money because now we can't sell people the path to getting the suppressor.
Yeah, their business
Oh my
model would
God.
have to adapt, evolve, and change, but that, as you said, does not make investors happy ever, right? They just want their profits and growth to go with those profits. That's
Growth
it,
at
all right?
no co-
Changing
or
the whole
any
business
cost,
model
yeah.
sounds very risky. They don't like that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's fucking baffling to me. Okay, so anyway, and I'm sure the same thing is happening with this 50-year loan. I'm sure the right people who know how money actually works are promoting it, and the vast majority of people, and I would include myself in this, or of Americans, I should say, are just not financially literate. Like, I don't know how money works. I don't know how to invest. I don't know how to protect my investments or anything like that. So most people are just going off of, some guy on the YouTube will be like, you should invest in this. And they'll be like, I should invest in that. I'm not gonna know. What other information can I get on this? So I feel like they're just playing this game that just doesn't involve most people. There's like this rich person game where they're throwing things back and forth. And ultimately, we have no influence on it. It doesn't matter, what the regular Joe thinks. Like, and there's going to be even a handful of people who will say, oh, well, if it makes the monthly payment on a house lower, now a house is within my reach. They don't care, they don't have a long-term outlook, so they don't care what it means in 50 years. Okay, so going back to this, the 50-year term might shave a few $100s off of monthly payments compared to the standard 30-year loan. So I saw a guy math this out. Is a dude who has like a YouTube channel based on economics. And from the math that he did, if you were looking at like a kind of standard loan where you would previously be paying like $2,600 a month, this would push it down to like $2,300 a month. So from my point of view, not a massive difference in the monthly payment, but you add
just enough now to con people
years.
Who go paycheck by paycheck, but are like, oh, I couldn't afford $2,600, but $23, oh, we can make that work, right? But you're signed up for 50 fucking years. Oh, get fucked.
So you shave $300 off of your monthly, but then you add honestly, 20 years.
One thing I need to just say on that too, for that 50-year loan, and maybe you can research that, I don't know, but I highly doubt that's going to be a flat rate for all 50 years. There ain't no fucking way they're ever going to allow that, right? So you're going to be paying that $2,300, and with inflation in like 20 years, you're going to be underwater. Easy money for them.
So maybe that's what this guy's talking about. So there's one of the comments on this article from our good friend Nuke1, who says it will only work if it's 1% interest, which we already know it's not. It's like 8%.
Yeah, there ain't no way 1% interest. Keep dreaming.
Yeah, no points on loan. This is what I mean about financial literacy. I don't have a fucking clue what that means. And then no penalty to pay off early. They can penalize you for paying off a loan early?
Depending on what loan agreement you have, yes. And this is not just for mortgages. This is actually, it's the same thing with not getting a locked-in rate, right? They don't tell you that up front, and you're just thinking, oh, whatever I'm buying is only going to be $1,500 a month. I could totally swing that. And then the Fed ups the interest rate, and you're just, that's it. You got to sell whatever it is that you bought at a loss. Like, because you didn't know. And they didn't tell you. Nobody's going to advertise, hey, by the way, this rate I'm giving you could potentially just completely fuck you in like 5 years. They're never going to start with that or even end with that.
This is bizarre. Okay, so I'm just looking through the comments to see if anyone has more info than we have, or if they've got a great insight, but it's not much. Just another way for Dumpy Trumpy to reward the people who are backing him, all of the billionaires. It does kind of seem that way. This kind of seems like a purely billionaire sided kind of move. Instead paying rent. What?
Oh, no, I was going to say, like, potentially. I think he's hard to read in the sense that I know that he also has that TV personality going for him where he's just like, I just want good ratings. Like, I want people to like me. So maybe he just threw this off the cuff, like, oh, how can I make people be able to afford a mortgage? Oh, maybe I'll do like a 50-year, give the peasants something. It
might be just like the Epstein file thing. Like, he's just saying what he thinks is popular, and that somebody just came to him, put it on his desk. He's like, sure, I'll put my name on this. It'll be the next Obamacare or whatever. It'll be the Trump 50-year. Who knows?
Yeah, because I know right now on social media, he's courting remigration, like pro-remigration folks. So remigration meaning it's a more recent political term that especially anywhere on like the right spectrum to centrist spectrum. Folks who believe that we've had too much migration into the West in Western countries, so we need to re-migrate a large chunk, essentially deportation. A nice way of saying mass deportation.
Okay. Oh, okay. That is a very nice way of saying it. Re-migration. I like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
it started in Europe, but Trump actually used that term recently. He said he's blocking all migration from third world countries right now, and that he's going to be embracing remigration, and a lot of third worlders who are already in America are going to get deported. Which
this is because of the guy
given
who got
his
shot,
recent
right?
track record, for those who are all in on that and are like, oh, this is awesome, whatever, I wouldn't hold my breath.
No shit.
I wouldn't hold my breath, because the 2A folks, the Second Amendment folks, they got shafted real bad too.
Yep. I think that you're right in that I think he just says whatever's current, and there's no like greater thought to it. It's kind of childlike in my opinion. He's always kind of rolled that way, where he just says whatever's currently making sense or whatever seems like the popular thing. And if enough people come to him and say, hey, this is actually the way, or maybe they grease his palms, he goes, okay, I changed my mind. Now this is the way to go. So yeah, I don't put too much stock in the fact that he really thinks this is a good thing or to save anybody. This is kind of a funny one. Trump filed Chapter 11 6 times. He is bad at math. Chapter 11 is bankruptcy, for those who are not aware. I don't know if that's true that he filed it 6 times, but I have read many times that he like doesn't pay his contractors. He's got a really bad reputation for like skirting bills and things like that. So yeah, he doesn't seem like the most sharp financial mind.
Let's take that also with a grain of salt. It's easy to hate a guy if he's very hateable. But I don't know if any of those so-called facts are actually true about him. For all I know, maybe he's a great person to work for. I doubt it. I mean, he's old money, right? Coming from New York, so I highly doubt it. But that was
another thing that I was going to mention when you were talking about the suppressor deal. Is that he is an old New York Democrat. He's lived in New York, loved New York back then, and he was super Democratic for a long time. So he's kind of a neo-Republican where he just sort of jumped onto the Republican bandwagon, but it doesn't seem that he really shares a lot of like the core old school, well, I shouldn't say old school, the past like 30, 40 years Republican ideals of like faith, the Second Amendment, community, those kind of things.
But even that, I wouldn't even hold against him, considering if you compare what we have for Democrats and Republicans right now. I mean,
I didn't necessarily mean it as a point against him, but just from my point of view, like anybody you can vote for is a phony anyway, right? Like you're not, nobody's like believes what you personally believe, because anyone that you're voting for at the very least is a millionaire. We don't get the option to vote for somebody who has been working their whole life that's gonna finally like step into the arena.
Wasn't
even
AOC
Trump
like a bartender before she got voted in? I mean, she's rich now from what I hear, but
well, to me, she seems like an obvious plant. Like, yeah, she's meant to be that, but she seems like groomed and positioned to be put into place to play that part. But and maybe she does.
That I believe. Even like the new New York mayor, Mamdani, who was supposed to be this great socialist, turning point for New York City. I mean, that dude, like what? Immediately as he was getting voted in, you saw him in pictures with like big wigs from New York City, business entities, people of means.
He was like roommates with George Soros' son. There's a picture of him and like George Soros' kid. They like were dorm roommates or something in college.
So for those folks who voted for him, waiting on super socialist paradise grocery stores where you don't have to pay anything or whatever the fuck you voted for, again, don't hold your breath. Just say.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So going back to the article here just to see what he actually said. The 50-year term might shave off a few hundred, but over time it could cost tens of thousands more in interest while building equity at a much slower pace. And for anyone who's not familiar, when they talk about building equity, they're just talking about how much money is yours that's not money, I think. So they're talking about basically owning the house and then being able to use the house as equity for other financial whatevers. I'm sure people who know more about finances understand better than I do. So Republic Congresswoman MTG, Magic the Gathering, who's been feuding with Trump over numerous issues, took to X to express her displeasure. It will ultimately reward the banks, mortgage lenders, and home builders. Yeah, no shit. Okay, I didn't think I was going to be agreeing with Marjorie Taylor Greene, but it will ultimately reward the banks, mortgage lenders, and home builders while people pay far more in interest over time and die before they ever pay off their home. In debt forever, in debt for life. Those mean the same thing. Whatever. Okay. I agree with her.
Well, maybe the afterlife too, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe that's a term in the 50-year mortgage contract.
We're introducing afterlife engagement. Man. The idea of looking down from heaven and instead of like just checking in on your grandkids, you're following up on your own mortgage. Oh.
Hopefully you got an email job up there. Pay for your fucking forever mortgage.
Okay, so while the 50-year mortgage is while the plan is drawing heat, it taps into a very real crisis as many Americans are suffocating under high interest rates and record high prices. I mean, this is true.
Yeah, but that's still not a fix or doing anything. That's kind of like me saying, okay, let's just build free housing. Okay, that's a dumb idea because it doesn't work that way, right? It's not that easy. But it doesn't actually fix anything or alleviate anybody suffocating from high interest rates or record high prices, right? Like, I'm just throwing out like a utopian solution.
Yeah, if you were to build 100 free houses, like great, 100 people get free houses on your dime, but then what? Who pays the bills? You know, who's going to upkeep the house? Like,
who's going to pay the property tax?
Yeah, there's all these other costs that are associated with homeowning that are also increasing along with like all the inflation and the lower affordability of everything. So like, I think there's a general kind of affordability crisis, I guess you would say, due to the crazy like bubbles that we're building with our economy. But that it extends into housing, but I don't feel like it's unique to housing. The housing quote crisis, in my opinion, has been going on for much longer than just the past few years. And it started when boomers started buying houses as investments rather than places to live. As soon as we commoditized housing, we built this system where now people are holding on to houses and trying to extract every dime they can out of it. And so people who just want to fucking live can't buy houses. But anyway, I think that's another topic. But okay, so the national median home price right now is $415,000. And with mortgage rates hovering above 6%, you have to have perfect credit to get 6%. Even modest homes are becoming
unaffordable. That's still wild
for
to me. 6%?
I was telling you, when I was trying to shop for a house.
I know boomers will say, oh, back in my day, it was like 10 or 15%. Okay, back in your day, a house cost like a fucking
$80,000
tenth of what it does now. All right, so maybe sit this one out.
Mr. Jackson.